you so much. You've added so much to the service. Thank you. The scripture today is from the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew chapter 5, verse 3. Blessed are the humble, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. The Sermon on the Mount is the only complete writing of any of Jesus' teachings. Some scholars believe he had carefully prepared a manuscript for this sermon, and it quite likely fell into the hands of Matthew. The sermon begins with the Beatitudes. Our scripture today is on the first Beatitude. All 9 Beatitudes begin with the word blessed. In Discover the Power Within You, Eric Butterworth explains the word blessed. To bless is to confer prosperity upon, to enrich. Thus, blessed makes a wonderful promise telling you what will happen if you condition your mind to the full acceptance of the Beatitudes. When the scripture states, "Blessed are the humble, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven," 2 questions immediately arise. What are the characteristics of a humble person? And second, the scripture states that theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Not that they will go to heaven sometime in the future, but theirs is the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven in the present tense. How do we comprehend this statement? Regarding the first question, defining a humble person. In our culture, the word humble can often be taken in a negative context. In the dictionary, a few definitions of humble are of little worth, of lowly condition or rank, a humble dwelling, humble origins. To humble oneself is to perform an act of submission by way of apology or penitence. In the past, some Christian faiths interpreted this beatitude, being humble, to mean being poor or lacking, prepared you for a better life in heaven after this life on earth. In the dictionary, an example uses the word blessed as an adjective. Blessed, possessing or marked by the virtue of humility. The virtue of humility sounds like it may be closer to what Jesus was saying. But when I go to the definition of humility, Webster says the quality of being without pride, voluntary self-abasement. When we find scripture that's difficult to understand, a good source to delve a little deeper is the Lamsa edition of the Bible. Jesus and his followers spoke Aramaic for the most part. Aramaic was the language of the church that spread east almost from the beginning. Dr. George Lamsa grew up speaking Aramaic. He translated the Peshitta, the Aramaic Bible of the Eastern Christians, into English in the Lamsa edition of the Bible. When we look at the Lamsa translation of today's scripture, humble is footnoted. In the Bible, it's footnoted as meaning poor in pride or unassuming. Unassuming. Blessed are the unassuming, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. I feel this is closer to the meaning of the message in the first beatitude. When a person has an absolute assumption or conviction that they should have that car or those clothes or a degree from that college, it can become an obstacle to recognizing, appreciating what we do have. If we are craving things that we don't have, we can become occupied and fixated with these desires. The result is we are not content or appreciative in the present or able to see other opportunities that present themselves. There's a difference between striving to better yourself and being obsessed with an outcome. A person might want to go to Harvard to get an education from a prestigious school, but when a person's complete self-image is dependent on attending Harvard, and that attending any other school is viewed as a personal failure, it becomes a fixation. And all that person's feeling of self-worth may be contingent on a specific outcome. There are many things in life that we inadvertently, even subconsciously, use as our own measure of our self-worth. It could be a relationship, it could be a job, it could be our family dynamics. But all of us do some comparing. It's easy to get attached to an outcome. The scripture is teaching us to be unassuming. and not placing our pride, our self-worth, on a specific outcome. You can strive to find contentment, to build a better life, to contribute to others' lives. But along the way, we need to enjoy the journey, appreciate unanticipated outcomes, learn from our mistakes, and smell the roses. Learning to enjoy our accomplishments with humility. In our current culture, we often hear the terms mindfulness, living in the now, and being present. I believe these terms are close to the concept of the first beatitude, being open to what is happening in the present, accepting the results of our decisions and actions. If we already have hardwired assumptions of outcomes pertaining to ourselves or others, we can very often be disappointed with our situation and misguided when making decisions. In past Olympic Games, we witnessed athletes, after a lifetime of training and dreaming of winning a gold medal, gracefully accept whatever the outcome of their event was. There were athletes who enjoyed just to begin competition, because then they had reached their goal of being an Olympian. As much as they wanted to win, they were at peace with accepting the results. We also saw athletes distraught with the outcome of their event. This goes back to the old saying, it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. You can imagine being an Olympian and absolutely being distraught that you didn't win. You're up against the best in the world. In our lives, what are some of the assumptions that might block our ability to stay present and enjoy our lives? On the other hand, what might help prevent us from feeling bitter when we do not get what we want or what we feel we are entitled to? Years ago, I read an article in the Washington Post by Carolyn Hacks. It was titled, "Try This Mantra, No More Mantras." The writer submitted her situation to Ms. Hacks. How does a person raise their self-esteem? Telling myself multiple times a day, you are pretty and you are smart, hasn't worked. Antidepressants have not helped. My therapist just tells me to repeat a sentence listing my positive qualities. I'm a nice, flexible, giving person. I'm a good friend because I'm understanding and kind. But my self-esteem is terrible. I feel stupid around people who are more accomplished. I don't feel pretty and never have felt pretty. I am hoping someday I will be able to say I am happy with myself. Mrs. Hacks' reply, paraphrased, do you feel smart around people who are less accomplished? Pretty around people who are less attractive? This is one of the many problems with the comparison method of determining any kind of self-worth. The world is so vast and there are so many possible comparisons that it ends up being no more than another tool to confirm our biases, in this case about ourselves. Mrs. Hacks urged the person to stop using self-compliments that use comparisons. Stop using stupid, smart, pretty, accomplished. Stop using relative values. She continues, your value is absolute. Think about that. Your value is absolute. You exist, therefore you matter. No more than anyone else and no less. Stop using relative value comparisons. I feel this is what Jesus was saying in the first beatitude. Blessed are the humble, the unassuming, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those without hard, fixed assumptions about the way their life should be in order to feel worthwhile or of value. I'm sure we all have someone in our life, some friend, that seems to be always just happy, just seems to accept things as they come. Sometimes we think they're a little dizzy but they're just accepting what there is, what's there in the present. When we are mindful in the now, without the baggage of assuming the way things should be or the way we want them to be, we can be at peace. If right now you just accept, here I am now, and just breathe. There's nothing in the past, nothing in the future, you're just here. Humble, unassuming, in the now. Open to what the universe lays before us. The second part of that beatitude, theirs is the kingdom of heaven. As metaphysicians, we believe heaven is a state of consciousness. Practitioners from all religions throughout time have documented their ability to experience different levels of consciousness. Our thoughts determine the way we view and experience the universe. If we compare ourselves to other people's accomplishments or possessions, we're in a consciousness of need, wanting something someone else has, or greed, gloating over something we have they don't. Either way, we are drawing a distinction between others and ourselves. We see others as separate, or maybe as competition. And discover the power within you, we have a further interpretation of the language of Scripture. The word heaven comes from the Greek root expanding. Thus, Jesus may be talking about expanding the potential within the individual. Heaven being the expansion of your own consciousness within you. Heaven might be defined as the potential of a divine, heavenly consciousness that we can all access. To be humble, unassuming, means to empty yourself of the desire to exercise personal will in the quest for realization. I like this quote. You cannot storm the gates of heaven. It's not something we can run out and get. When we quiet ourselves, our consciousness, it is inside us. You cannot achieve an understanding of God through the intellect alone. Scholars of all ages have spent innumerable hours trying to rationalize or intellectually define God. No one has ever succeeded. We know in that quiet time, those quiet glimpses, when all of a sudden we feel connected to a bigger whole, there is a consciousness there. And it's us learning how to get to that consciousness. And each one of us has different things that keep us from going to that consciousness, of just accepting who we are right now. Blessed are the humble. Blessed are they who can let go of the attempt to understand everything from an intellectual point of view. Blessed are they who are teachable, open-minded, receptive to grace, willing to release preconceived opinions, prejudices, and entertain a new concept of life. To put it simply, heaven could be a consciousness that we can experience when we are not encumbered by the limitations of a narrow focus and fixation. You know, all the things in the present, in the now, meditation, opening ourselves to a higher consciousness. It is said that Jesus taught us how to think and not what to think. The greatest spiritual lessons are those revelations that come to us naturally. We can read it and study it, but until you all of a sudden get that aha moment, when you know it's a truth for you, that's natural. It comes to you. It's not from reading a book. You may have read a lot, but when it comes to you and you actually experience it, that's when it's going to be real. Proverbs 11:12 states, when pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with the humble is wisdom. The first beatitude teaches that our consciousness can evolve to new heights when we live unassuming. To reach these new heights, we learn to watch our thoughts, our emotions, our actions, and identify when we are comparing ourselves to others. When we see ourselves doing that, we redirect that thought. Accepting that each of us is unique and perfect, just as we are, we can learn to live humbly with an unassuming attitude. Consider the teaching from the Sermon on the Mount. Blessed are the humble, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Allow your higher wisdom to direct your thoughts and attention to finding value in the present and expanding your own potential. Be mindful of your own thoughts and emotions. Blessings. We're going to move right into the meditation. So if you would set aside your bulletins and your hymnals and get comfortable. If you'd close your eyes and take a few nice breaths. We'll begin by relaxing the body, followed by a guided meditation, and ending with a period of silence. Take a nice long breath in, and slowly exhale. Again, a nice long breath in, and slowly exhale. If you would place all your attention on your head, visualize as you inhale all the oxygen going into your head. And when you exhale, let the muscles in your forehead, your eyes, your face, and your neck relax. Again, breathing into your head. And as you exhale, feel every muscle relaxing. Now, if you place your attention on your shoulders, your arms, and your hands, and just breathe into your shoulders, your arms, and your hands. And when you exhale, feel all those muscles relaxing. And again, breathing into your shoulders, your arms, and your hands, and relaxing. And now if you place your attention on your torso, and as you inhale, feel all that oxygen going to every cell in your torso. And as you exhale, feel all those muscles relaxing. Again, breathing into your torso and relaxing. And now all your attention on your hips, your legs, and your feet. And again, feel all the oxygen going into your hips, your legs, and your feet. And relaxing. Now breathe into your entire body. Just breathe into your entire body. Every cell awake. As you exhale, feel yourself relaxing further. Breathing into your entire body and relaxing. Be aware of the weight of your feet on the ground. Be aware of your thighs on the pew and your back on the pew. Just visualize that as Mother Nature holding you in her arms. And just allow yourself to sink into the embrace of Mother Nature. Pay attention to your breath as you slowly breathe in and slowly breathe out. If thoughts come to you, gently acknowledge them, but then gently just return your attention to your breath, breathing in and breathing out. The practice is to keep your attention on your breath. The effort needed to redirect your attention is training you to be aware when unproductive thoughts or emotions arrive. Take a nice breath in and gently exhale. You are perfect just as you are. Yourself for giving yourself this time this morning just to take a break from your normal routine and join us this morning. Visualize all of us relaxed, continue to breathe into your body, just allow this sound just to vibrate wherever it feels natural in your body. Allow your body to tune. Your eyes remaining closed, gently release this meditation. Take a few normal breaths with no cares or concern, just breathing normally. And if you gently wiggle your fingers and your toes a little bit, and when you're ready, if you gently bring yourself back into the chapel, in the bulletin, if we can read the congregation right after the meditation. Reading together. I affirm that I am on a path of evolving spiritual consciousness. I believe in a universe of peace, unconditional love, and the practice of goodwill toward all humankind. May peace pervade the entire universe.